Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And thank God we are just less than a week away from opening night of the NFL season in 2020. Finally, something to bring some joy, which has been a crazy year of 2020. Football is almost here. But in today's video, we are going to talk about 5 teams that will improve in the year of 2020. But before I get into this list, make sure you guys stay absolutely safe. There's still a lot going on out here, and I just want to make sure that you guys are staying absolutely safe. And if you are one of the 60% of the people that are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and also click that notification bell to be notified when I post a brand new video. But let's get this thing started. Without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
At number 5, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills will have a better year. Josh Allen is improving at the quarterback position. You have running back Devin Singletary, who is going to improve as well on a solid rookie season. John Brown with his speed. Cole Beasley with his ability to catch the ball as a slot receiver. And then you add a number 1 type of receiver and Stephon Diggs to add to the fold at the Bills' wide receiving core position. Then on top of that, you have a very solid defense with Ed Oliver that is improving his second season. You have Jerry Hughes, who's been consistent, and you have Tre'Davious White and Michael Hyde in the secondary. This Bills team will be a whole lot better than expected, and also I think this Bills team can possibly win the NFC East and change the whole narrative of the AFC East, because the Patriots have basically dominated that division throughout the course of this last decade and even beyond that. And with Tom Brady lost in the fold for the New England Patriots, this Buffalo Bills team was already a playoff team last season, but I see this team doing a whole lot better because of the offense being improved with Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen is one of the quarterbacks that are on the upswing with the defense that is a very solid defense, top 10, top 5 defense. This team is going to be very sneaky. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people how good this Buffalo Bills team can really be and the potential that they have, especially with the defense that they have. I really think this Buffalo Bills team can be AFC East champions when this entire 2020 season is all said and done. Coming in at the number 4 spot is the Arizona Cardinals. The first thing is the obvious move of acquiring DeAndre Hopkins in a trade for David Johnson. Easily, when you have one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league today, that definitely improves your offense. And then you add Kenyon Drake, who re-signed in the offseason, who's a very steady back, an all-purpose back who can run the ball and also play as a good wide receiving back out of the backfield. With Kyler Murray improving in his second year in the league, not to add Christian Kirk, and you have old reliable Larry Fitzgerald at the wide receiver position. You have an offensive line that is improving a lot. And then as we look on the defensive side of the ball, Budda Baker just got a contract that makes him one of the highest paid safeties in the league. And he's one of the safeties that is on the rise and could be easily one of the best safeties in the game of football. And then you had Chandler Jones, who is a pass rusher that can easily get you 10 to 15 sacks this year. Isaiah Simmons, who was a steal in the draft in my opinion. This Arizona Cardinals team was not that bad of a team last year. I just think it was too many integral, changeable parts, and it kind of struggled a little bit. Kyler Murray has his up and down moments, but I really see him improving in year 2 and you add a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, who's as sure-handed as any receiver in the league today, and you have Larry Fitzgerald on the opposite side of him with Christian Kirk, who's an up-and-coming young receiver in the game, this team can be very, very, very solid. And I forgot a name, one of the best shutdown corners in the game of football, Patrick Peterson on the defensive side of the ball. This Arizona Cardinals team is going to be a lot improved this year. They still have to compete with the Seattle Seahawks team and the reigning NFC champion San Francisco 49ers, but I can really see this team making a playoff run. If they don't make the playoffs, this team will be right there in the thick of things, because I just don't see the Rams really being anything special this year. They lost some guys, and I don't think this Rams team will be as good as they've been in the past. And this Cardinals team can overtake the Rams in the division. Maybe Seattle too, but that remains to be seen. But this Cardinals team is definitely going to be on a rise in 2020. Number 3, you guys going to say, I'm biased. My Chicago Bears. Listen, this Bears team last year only went 8-8 with bad offensive play. You add better offensive play in the year 2020, this Bears team easily screams playoffs. When you have a top 5 defense in the league led by Khalil Mack, Kyle Fuller, Eddie Jackson, and then you add one of the better pass rush specialists in the game of football in Robert Quinn. The loss of Eddie Goldman does hurt, but you still have Akeem Hicks, Roy Robertson Harris as solid guys up front to fill that role. We bring back Danny Trevathan at the linebacker position. And on top of that, you have an offense with Allen Robinson, who I still think they need to pay. I think whichever quarterback is going to win the job, which I've said in the past is going to be Mitch. Whichever quarterback wins this job, I really see them having some good moments with David Montgomery in the backfield, Tariq Cohen. There have been rumors of using Cordero Patterson in the backfield, and he has top-tier speed. You have a guy like Anthony Miller who is on the come-up. Cole Kmet, a first-round talent that slipped in the second round to the Chicago Bears. Jimmy Graham, I think, can have a resurgent year if used right in this offense. You have an offensive line that wasn't great in 2019, but in camp has been very, very much improving. This Bears team, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Bears fan. I'm actually saying this because this Bears team can be on the improve as long as we get good quarterback play, which I do anticipate the quarterback play being better, even if it's just Foles or just Trubisky. I really see this Chicago Bears team really, really having a better year than that 8-8 disappointing 2019. At number 2, we have the Cleveland Browns. I had the Cleveland Browns on my list last year, but things didn't go as expected. Freddie Kitchens turned out not to be the guy at the head coaching position, which he was let go. And now you bring in Kevin Stefanski, who was the offensive coordinator in Minnesota last year, who helped Kirk Cousins have a very, very much improved 2019 season. He can do that same thing to Baker Mayfield. And you also have Nick Chubb, who's one of the top backs in the NFL. One of the top wide receiving cores with Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. You add a guy who's been consistent like Austin Hooper in free agency. The offensive line is better than it was last year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you have Myles Garrett, who's one of the up-and-coming pass rushers. Olivier Vernon, who can step in. You also have Sheldon Richardson in the front seven. You add Carl Joseph and Andrew Sadejo, who are two of the good safeties in this league. And you also have my guy from the Ohio State University at corner, and Denzel Ward. This team was slated to be a better team last year, but inconsistencies, bad play calling, and the Myles Garrett suspension basically hurt their season a ton. With the new head coach of Stefanski in there, better leadership and to hold guys accountable, and Baker Mayfield to have that guy in Stefanski who can help improve his game, I think this Cleveland Browns team is a definite playoff contender. You're still in the division with the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers, who is also going to be competitive. But this Cleveland Browns team can easily be a sneaky playoff team, if not make the playoffs, as I think the second team in that division. I still think Baltimore is the cream of the crop in that division, but I think it's a toss-up between Pittsburgh and Cleveland for that second spot. And with Pittsburgh and unquestioned with Big Ben, I think that this Cleveland Browns team can overtake that Pittsburgh Steelers team to be second in that division and possibly have a playoff spot when it's all said and done. At number 1 should be no surprise. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This entire Tampa Bay Buccaneers team went through a bit of an overhaul. You get out Jameis Winston and you add one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game, if he's not the best, and Tom Brady. You already have perennial Pro Bowl wide receiver Mike Evans. You had up-and-coming Chris Godwin. You have O.J. Howard that was already on the roster. And then on top of that, you add a guy like Rob Gronkowski, get him out of retirement. You get LaShawn McCoy, who's still aging, but I still think he can do some things in his offense. And then just a few days ago, you add Leonard Fournette to this offense. And on top of that, your third string tight end is Cameron Brate, who's also a very reliable tight end. To pair all those weapons on offense with the offensive genius like Bruce Arians, the sky is the absolute limit for this Buccaneer offense. Not to mention, you add a steady offensive line guy like Tristan Wirfs in the draft. This offense can be scary when all is said and done. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, this Buccaneers team is very, very good on the defensive side of the ball. When you add in Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, you have Devin White coming off a very solid rookie year, Levante David, who's been steady in the middle of that defense, and you have the league leading sack guy in 2019 and Shaquille Barrett. You add Antoine Winfield and the safety, Antoine Winfield Jr., that is, not the Antoine Winfield that went to Ohio State, but his son, Antoine Winfield Jr., in your secondary. I still question a bit of the corners in Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Burton, but Sean Murphy-Burton is on the rise a bit, and if he plays solid in 2020, this Buccaneers team can be absolutely scary when all said and done. With an offensive guy like Bruce Arians in the fold, a guy that's going to hold this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense accountable, and a guy like Brady who won't throw 30 picks like Jameis Winston did last season, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team can very well make noise in the NFC South and just the NFC in general. I still think the Saints are a little bit overall better team, but at the end of the day, this Buccaneers team is absolutely loaded on the offensive side of the ball. And what have we learned in the past? Don't count Tom Brady out. So I can't count Tom Brady out just yet. And especially with the weapons that he has on offense, you cannot count out Brady for the year of 2020. That is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you agree or disagree with any of the teams on this list, please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would really love to hear your guys' opinions on the teams that can make a rise in 2020. But that is all I have. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys have a great and excellent day, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.
I wanna say thank you to my mom and making love the night that you had me. Wanna thank my friends, my sister, and my brother.